Let's talk about something that's probably driving a lot of B2B marketers crazy right now. Companies are sinking more money, more data, and more tools into their campaigns than ever before, but they're just not seeing that translate into actual revenue.
So what's going on here? It's a huge paradox, right? You see all the right signs. Web traffic is up, people are downloading your content, they're signing up for webinars. Everything looks good on paper. But then you look at the bottom line, and the revenue needle just isn't moving. The problem isn't a lack of effort. It's that all that energy is being pointed in completely the wrong direction.
So, to find the right direction, we first have to really understand what's going wrong. And it usually boils down to 4 pretty common pitfalls that cause even the best funded B2B campaigns to just fall flat.
First up, we've got a classic mistake, casting a net that is just way, way too wide. You know the strategy. It's all about scale. Just blast out ads and emails and content to this massive audience, and you just hope that the right people will eventually show up. But hope is not a strategy. And this is exactly what happens when you take that broad approach. You generate a whole lot of noise, but almost no real signal. Your pipeline gets totally clogged up with leads that are never, ever going to buy, and your sales team ends up wasting all their precious time just chasing ghosts.
All right, the second big problem is leaning way too heavily on those traditional buyer personas. Now look, don't get me wrong. Understanding your ideal customer, their industry, their job title, that stuff is definitely useful. But the problem is, it's a static picture in a super dynamic market.
And that, right there, is the crucial point. A persona might tell you the right company, but it completely misses the timing, and timing is everything. You could have the most perfect product in the world for them, but if you reach out when they aren't even thinking about a solution, well, your message just falls on deaf ears.
This brings us right to problem number 3. While marketers are busy relying on all this static data, their potential customers are out there leaving this trail of digital breadcrumbs all over the internet. They're searching for product comparisons, they're reading reviews, they're downloading guides. These are crystal clear buying signals. And when you ignore those signals, you completely miss that perfect window of opportunity. You know how it is? Contact someone too early, and you just seem pushy. Contact them too late, and they're already talking to your competitors. Either way, you lose.
And the final pitfall? Chasing the wrong goals. Oh, it is so easy to get distracted by metrics that look really good in a report, but have literally zero connection to actual business growth. We call these vanity metrics.
Exactly. I mean, 1 million impressions or 1,000 downloads. Sure, it feels like a big win. It looks great on a PowerPoint slide, but it doesn't pay the bills. When marketing isn't laser-focused on actually contributing to the sales pipeline and generating real revenue, it's just making a lot of expensive noise.
Okay, so we've laid out all the problems. It might sound a little bleak, but this is where the story takes a turn. The solution is all about making a powerful shift in strategy, moving away from all the assumptions and the guesswork and moving toward evidence and knowledge. It's a shift from guessing to knowing, and it's all powered by something called intent data.
So what in the world are intent signals? Well, think of them as those digital footprints we were just talking about. They're all the behaviors, the searches, the articles they read, the websites they visit, that when you put them all together, show that an account is actively in the market, researching a solution to a problem that you can solve.
So here's the big strategic shift. This is the whole game changer. We have to stop asking who fits our ideal customer profile. And instead, we need to start asking a much smarter question. Who is actively looking for a solution like ours right now? That little shift, from asking who to asking when, well, it changes everything.
Now, this all sounds great in theory, right? But how does it actually work in the real world? Let's take a look at how this idea goes from just a concept to a real revenue-generating engine. So intent data basically transforms your campaigns in 3 huge ways. First, you get way smarter segmentation. You can focus all your best efforts only on the accounts that are showing they're interested. Second, you nail the timing, reaching out right when people are most ready to listen. And third, all of this naturally leads to much higher conversion rates because your outreach is actually relevant and helpful, not just intrusive noise. Let's look at a real example. There was a cybersecurity company getting tons of website traffic, but nobody was booking demos. So they used intent data to pinpoint the specific companies that were actively comparing endpoint security solutions. They targeted only those accounts with personalized ads and sales outreach. The results were almost immediate. More demos booked, shorter sales cycles,
and way more deals won.
Or here's another one. A cloud infrastructure company was just drowning in leads, but they had no idea which ones were serious. By ranking all their leads based on intent signals, they could immediately send the hottest accounts straight to their senior sales reps. This cut out so much wasted effort and made their revenue growth way more predictable. The lesson here is pretty clear. Precision beats scale every single time.
So you're probably asking, okay, how can I actually build this myself? Well, it really breaks down into a clear 4-step plan. First, you've got to integrate your data. That's your own website data plus third-party data from all over the web to get the full picture. Second, and this is so critical, get your marketing and sales teams on the same page about these signals. Third, use what you've learned to personalize your messaging. And finally, measure what actually matters, your impact on the sales pipeline.
You know, what all of this really points to is a whole new set of rules for B2B marketing. The old way of doing things, that broad outreach, the delayed responses, it's just broken. The future is all about precision, it's about being proactive, and it's about focusing your resources only on the accounts that are actually ready to listen.
And this quote just says it all, doesn't it? In today's market, winning isn't about who can shout the loudest. It's about who can listen the closest and who's smart enough to respond at the exact right moment when their message will have the biggest impact.
So that brings us to the final question, and it's one you should really take back to your own team. Take a hard, honest look at your campaigns and ask yourselves, are you guys still guessing who might be ready to buy? Or are you truly listening to what the market is telling you?